imamshaykhukkahsah.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, after salatu wa timmu taslim, wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa sallam tasliman kathira. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آله محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد أما بعد. I think this is, of course I mess numbers up all the time. I think this is number 36 of the Uloom of the Quran. 36. I mean 36 Sundays ago, at least, we were starting this class. And I know I missed some with regards to travel, and some of them I didn't record. So we're going to officially say 36, inshallah, for the Uloom of the Quran. ونسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى يتقبل منا آمين. May Allah accept from us, Ameen. The class today, when we talk about belief in Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, they call it from the ayah in the Quran, 5 ayah, and then the 6th ayah comes from separate Quranic texts. So you have one ayah that mentions 5 parts of Iman. One ayah that mentions 5 parts of Iman, similar to the hadith of Jibreel, where the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, belief in Allah, His angels, His books, His messengers, to believe in the last day. So all of that's in one ayah. In Surah Al-Baqarah. The last 2 ayah of Baqarah, it's there. If you go to the ayah where Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned, لَيْسَ الْبِرُّ أَن تُوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ قِبَلَ الْمَشْرِقِ وَالْمَغْرِبِ, which is before fasting. So it's like 175, 4. That ayah is talking about belief in the last day, but Allah mentions a bunch of other things with that ayah. So when they talk about the 6 pillars of Iman, then that means everything falls under these 6. Whether Salah, as in the other ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah mentions Salah. Zakat, Allah mentions that, part of Iman. The issue of turning to the east or the west, meaning with regards to where your direction you should be facing when you pray, because depending on where you are on earth, you're not going to always face the same direction. You'll face the same, what we call Qibla. Qibla in Arabic means direction. So when we say Qibla, we mean one thing, the Kaaba. Everybody will face the Kaaba. But a jihad, your geographical direction is going to change. The people, for example, praying in Southeast Asia are not praying northeast like us, because they're in Southeast Asia. So Southeast Asia, now you got to face the Kaaba, is not going to be the same direction as we are in America, in the northern part of the Western hemisphere. People, for example, in Medina, they're not facing the same geographical direction when they're facing Mecca. And of course, the people in Yemen, and the people in Syria. So the different parts of the world, everybody's going to face the Kaaba, but he might not face the same direction that someone in another location is going to face in order to face the Kaaba. So when that long ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah mentions a lot of things is iman. The thing that is considered bir, iman, believing in, Allah, Yawm al-Akhir, the angels, His books, when they begin. And then Allah said, وَآتَ الْمَالِ عَلَى حُبِّي, and to give money to those whom you love, that's iman. وَآتَ الْمَالِ عَلَى حُبِّي, to give money to those who you love. Name some people who you love. Your wife, mashallah, that's a smart man. It's the wife, mashallah. Name some people, your children. Parents. Siblings. Extended relatives. Come on now. Distant relatives. Gotta include them. What about orphans? What about neighbors? What about friends? If you have real friends, acquaintances, people that you associate with, there's got to be something in this building. Every time I move, this mic is, it's something in the...
You don't think it's a battery?
These batteries are brand new.
No, but could they be worn down?
Most of us said no. Check. I don't think they weren't doing that when I'm sitting. It's only when I get up and I move. They should have 2 dots on this one. And remember, we have the new batteries, chargeable. They last a long time. We checked them just the other day. Said 2. But I'll put half. And when you change the batteries, it trips. He's got to go in the room and fix the battery. These batteries are great. Lifting weights, energizers. I'll put at any rate. So the main 6 articles, everything falls under there. As in this ayah again in Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah mentions وَآتَ الْمَالَ الْحُبِّ, giving wealth to those who love, sadaqah. وَفِي الرِّقَابِ, وَآتَ الْمَالَ الْحُبِّ, وَآتَ الْمَالَ الْحُبِّ, وَآتَ الْمَالَ عَلَى حُبِّ ذَوِي الْقُرْبَى. The qurba is your close relatives. وَالْمَسَاكِينَ. But the scholar said close relatives, if it's mentioned alone, it also means distance too. You include them both. So within qurba, close and distant relatives. وَالْمَسَاكِينَ, the people that are needy. When masakin are mentioned by itself, it also means fuqara, those who have nothing. Masakin, you have something, but you need something else to go with it. Like we said, making ends meet. That's somebody that in Arabic is considered masakin. Fuqara, they have nothing. Outside, homeless, on the ground, sleeping under the railroad track, sleeping under the bridge. That's fuqara. Masakin, I work, but boy, I just barely paid my rent. I work, I got $100 left. I work, I got $600 in the bank, but that's nothing. If I use that, I'm done. That's masakin. I got to work overtime. That's masakin. Boy, I got to figure out I'm going to get my car fixed. That's masakin. I got a nice salary, but I'm living below the poverty level. That's masakin. You need something extra. So masakin, if it's by itself, it includes fuqara, those who have nothing. So again, to give money to those who you love, وَذِي الْقُرْبَى, the close relative and the distance, وَالْمَسَاكِينَ, the needy and the poor, وَالْمَسَاكِينَ, وَبَنِ السَّبِيلِ, those who traveling through. Giving money to those who traveling. We say, oh, why are you traveling with no money? How can he travel like that? He shouldn't have traveled. Oh, he's a burden on us. Allah said, what is sabil? People have to travel.
And do you know what travel eats up of money? What travel eats up of your physical body? It's taxing. So Allah knows, He mentioned, وَبَنِ السَّبِيلِ وَبَنِ السَّبِيلِ وَبَنِ السَّبِيلِ, those people passing through. وَبَنِ السَّبِيلِ وَبَنِ السَّبِيلِ وفي الرقاء والضراء وفي الرقاء, and to spend in good times and bad times from Iman. When it's tight, you still spend. And when it's plentiful and it's flowing, you spend. And then Allah said, وَفِي الرِّقَابِ, and to spend to free slaves. For all those who say Islam is a slave religion, why would Allah call from Iman to free a slave? That means somebody else's slave at that time. That means your own slave. To free them is from Iman. Now, وَأَقَامُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ, Salat from Iman, Zakat from Iman, وَالْمُوفُونَ بِأَهْدِهِمْ, وَالْمُوفُونَ بِأَهْدِهِمْ, and to keep your promise is from Iman. Now, وَالضَّرَّاء وَالسَّرَّاء, وَحِينَ الْبَأْسِ, and to be upright, to stand, and to keep your promise in good times and bad times. And Allah said, أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا, these are those who really have true Iman. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُهْتَدُونَ, and these are those who are guided. كُلُّ هَذَا Iman. All of that's Iman. We just mentioned a long ayah. Takes up almost the first third of the page, so at the bottom. So go find this ayah, لَيْسَ الْبِرَّ أَن تُوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ قِبَلَ الْمَشْرِقِ وَالْمَغْرِبِ. And that piety, Iman, is not only that you turn your face to the east and the west. That ayah to the end is what we just quoted. It shows Iman. So the Baqarah, go look.
What number is it? What ayah?
You're talking about to the end, right?
Inshallah.
Okay, Tayyib. All right, it's in the 170s. I'm not good with the numbers. I'm old school. I just quote. And I tell you where it is, Baqarah. I'm not going to tell you every time the ayah, because to be honest with you, I don't memorize like that. Somebody say that's a shortcoming, but the Salaf were like that. They knew the number, but when they quote, they wouldn't always say ayah number such and such. They came later to hold people's hand. But if the ayah for Ramadan is 184, we took on about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's like 179, 178 in Baqarah, somewhere in there, the top of the page. Now, after that ayah, you're going to find the ayah on Qisas, taking retribution, blood money. 177?
177.
Okay, Barakallahu feekum. So that ayah is all of that's Iman. That kind of answers a question that Umar asked some weeks back. How do you know what's from the branches of Iman? How do you know if there's other things from Iman? That's part of the answer. That ayah all is talking about Iman. Because Bir is Iman. Righteousness is Iman. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, except those believe, وَعَمَلُوا what? Salihat, righteous deeds. So that's Iman. Bir is another word for righteous deeds. And Bir is another word for Iman. That's why Allah said at the end, أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا, those people do everything in this ayah mentioned. They are the believers, the true believers. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُهْتَدُونَ, and they are the ones upon guidance. May Allah make us true believers and upon guidance. Ameen. So the ayah is Surah Al-Baqarah, 295. Allah mentions belief in Him, the angels, the boats, the messengers, and the day of judgment. The qadr is always mentioned from other ayah because it's not in that ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah. So if we take the day of judgment, then you have major and minor signs. From the minor signs, we said the first one is Bithatu, the coming of the Nabi. Bithatun Nabi. I hope that noon is proper, the dot over the first letter, noon. It should be Nabiyyi. Did I write the dots right?
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's Nabi. So where's the noon at? Here?
No. To the right.
I want to go above it.
Yeah, it's to your left. To your left. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
That's above it.
Yes.
That what we said,
No.
no?
Yeah, it should be over to the left a little, like 3 inches.
Take Ibrahim.
Now,
Or Sheikh, you can come and receive. This is the rough part here, alhamdulillah. Now you're going to be in the camera, you're going to see how handsome you are. You know, girls looking for a husband. Almost died. That's stuff for me. No, I got stuff for me, right? I can write it right here.
Yes.
Okay. So, you erased the whole thing, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
No, that's the whole thing. I just erased the W.
Oh, okay. Wow, I just wrote a line for that. I just messed it up. Really? No?
No, because you guys are high enough. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna erase the whole thing.
Okay. No. If you erase just that line
Yeah.
and
There's
we're okay. This is the noon.
Yes.
Okay. So that's okay. So an-Nabi. This is one of the examples. I'm just going off a little bit. This is one of the examples when I was telling one of the brothers last week in the Adhan. He said, Hayya alal salah. We said Hayya ala. Not Hayya alal salah, Hayya ala salah. Because Sa'ad, Sin, Ra, Noon, there's a group of letters, about 13, 14 of them. If they come after this alif, and alif, lam, noon. If the noon comes after the lam is silent. So you will never say el nur, you say an nur, because the lam is silent. This is the same thing here. Bithatu. Bithatu is descending. Bithatu. Bithatun nabi. Bithatun nabi. You go right into the noon, the lam is silent. You wouldn't say Bithatul nabi. Why? Because the noon comes after the lam, and that makes the lam silent. There's certain letters, if it comes after the lam, you don't pronounce the lam. Noon is one of them. So bitha is descending, dispatching. Sending. Bitha, to send. Ba'ath, yani the dispatching. Yawm al-Ba'ath, when you're going to be sent from under the ground up out of the ground. Yawm al-Ba'ath. Bithatu. Bithatu, he's sent to the people as a prophet. He's ordained now as prophet and messenger. Bithatun nabi. The coming, the sending of the prophet. That's the first minor sign. So the prophet coming, Bithatun nabi. Can I write below there?
Yes.
Here. Where's the number 1? Let me go here. 1.
No, one is there.
1. So here this, I can write 2.
Right, 2 there.
go up.
Go up a little.
Go up. to your left.
Left or right?
To the left.
You guys got 2 lefts and 2 rights now.
Right there.
Okay, right here?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is 2. 2 looks like someone holding a cane that's bent in Arabic. That's a 2. The second one they said, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Don't quote the order of these. إثبت النبي يعني اللهم صل على نبينا محمد موته موته, his death. Maut is death. The he on the end is his death. Maut, death. Mautihi, his death. Whose death? The Prophet, as we're talking, the subject matters the Nabi. So his death is one of the minor signs Yawm al-Qiyamah is coming. That's number 2. Can I get a 3 here?
Yeah, let me go up.
Yep, right there. Go up.
Okay.
Go up a little. Still got one. Yes, right there.
Hey, that's a 3. The difference between Ithnain with Thalatha is Thalatha has like 2 waves, where Ithnain is just like a cane, backwards. Hey, right here, am I writing in the right area?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Wa ashabihi. The wow here is just like in English. You don't need to write Maut Sahaba. You can just write wow, which means and. It's carried over from the subject matter before Maut, rather than saying Mautihi or Maut Ashabihi. You just say Wa Ashabihi. The next minor sign of the day of judgment, the dying of his companions. Mautihi, Nabi, his dying. Wa Ashabihi, number 3, the dying of the companions, from the minor signs. Going to write here. Have room?
Yes.
Yes.
Anything up here?
No.
Nothing.
That's so. Where's my writing start? Around here.
Right there. Right there.
Okay, take. This is number 4. In Arabic, 4 is like a backwards 3. That's Rabi. Number 4, Sept al-Qamar. Yani Shaqqa. Shaqqa. Shaqqa means to split. Shaqqa. Qamar. Shaqqal qamar. So shaqqa. Shaqqa. You have a shadda on the qaf, which is really sheen, qaf, qaf. But you don't write sheen, qaf, qaf. You write sheen, qaf, and the shadda that looks like a W, that stands for extra letter. It stands for extra letter. We went over this a year and a half ago in the beginning. So shaqqa. Why shaqqa? Because you have 2 qafs. You stop on the first one. If we were to write sheen, qaf, you stop on this first one and you pronounce the second one. So shaqqa. Shaqqa. Shaqqal, when you connect as a qamar. Shaqqal qamara. Shaqqal, the tongue is up. Shaqqal qamara. Everybody, shaqqa.
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 Shaqqal
Shaqqal.
qamara.
Qamara.
Shaqqal
Shaqqal.
qamara.
Qamara.
Shaqqal qamara.
Shaqqa. Qamara.
The splitting of the moon. From the minor signs of Yawm al-Qiyamah, splitting of the moon. And wallahi, when this happened, they were traveling and it became split between the two mountains. Imagine you have the moon, it's split, one on this side, one on that side. They said, look, he's doing magic. Because magic, part of magic is that something happens, you see it, but it's not real, but it looks real. So they blame the prophet of doing magic. That's why they call him Sahir in the Quran. Allah mentions they call him a sorcerer. This is part of why. When he split the moon. And they said, you know, if you're a prophet, show us a sign.
Mm-hmm.
They challenged him. I said, all right. They said in some narrations, if you're really a prophet, then split the moon. So he asked Allah, and Allah said, okay, split the moon. And he was able to split the moon, alayhi salatu wasalam. That's one of the signs, the minor signs of Yawm al-Qiyamah. In fact, it's a surah called Surah Al-Qamar. And Allah said, اقترب الساعة وانشق القمر. Allah said, and the hour will be drawing close along with the splitting of the moon. In that surah. Where's Shaq al-Qamar? Huh? Here?
That's coming.
Okay, so down. Okay.
Oh, come over to your
I want to go down to right.
You good right there. Come
Right.
to your right.
Got plenty of space.
Yeah.
Right to your
I
right.
want to try to be uniform under the number.
Okay.
Yeah,
Keep going
so
to
keep
your
going to your another foot.
Okay. Okay. Go up. Now go up.
Right here.
Yeah, that's okay. That's good.
So I can write.
Yes, you can.
Okay. This is Qamis. Qamis is a zero. In Arabic, the 5 looks like a circle. I wrote it kind of big, but I'm writing like you guys are blind, these big letters. You know, what am I doing, man? It shouldn't be that big. That's like big as hell. But anyway, that's a Qamis, circle. Should be a little smaller. The next one they said, and this is not any order, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Muhammad, Shaq al-Qamar, and signs, I mentioned a lot of them in the Qur'an. I was drinking ginger and cayenne, so I was rolling.
Go up, shake you off. Go up, go over to your right. Okay, right there. Start right there.
So I wrote a scene and a ya. So where's the scene at? This should be sayakunu. A scene, a ya, a kaf, and a noon. Those are 3 letters I wrote. So where's the scene at?
At your right. To your right. No, come to your left a little bit. A little bit more. Right there. Okay.
That's the scene?
Yeah, the scene.
Should be a scene, a ya, a kaf, and a noon. So this is sa, ya, and then where's the kaf? The 3rd letter. Is that it?
No, move a little to your right. Yeah, right there.
This is top.
That's the calf.
Kunu. So you kunu. There shall be. Wahid will come soon. Nisa'a li rajulin wahid. There should be 51. Say yakunu wahid wa khamseen. Wahid is number 1. So in Arabic, you say the small number first, and then the large number. So in Arabic, you say 51. The 5 comes first and the 1 comes last. In Arabic, you say wahid. The small number will come soon. Come soon is 50. Khamsa is 5. Come soona is 50. So sayakunu wahid will come soon. Nisa'in. There will be 51 women. Li rajulin. I was going to write rajulan, but grammatically that's wrong. Should have been, as I said, li rajulan. That's why you have 2 lines here. Wahidin. It should be rajulin wahidin, not wahidun. Wahidin. So where's wahidin here?
It's up though. You want to erase that?
No, I just want to make sure the 2 lines is at the bottom and not 2 dumb. Wahidin. The dal, the last letter of wow, a line, madda, ha, and the dal. Wahidan. It should be kasratan. So where's that last word? Wahidan. Is it here?
Starting there.
Wahidan. But I wrote wahidun. This should be den.
Yeah.
So this is the dal, the last letter?
It had to be, if it's wahidan, it had to
Yeah. But I want to know where the letter is. Here.
be. It's on the end.
Is that the I want the letter though, so I can write the markings.
It should be
That's it.
before the end.
Huh?
It's the last letter, so it's the last letter.
Is this the, I
Yes,
want to
that's
mark it. This it?
It doesn't look like a down.
Huh?
Doesn't look like a down. A down.
What it look like to you?
Wrong?
It looks like a mean.
Me? Do that look like a dell to you?
Yeah, but it's low.
It's
It's low.
It's low?
It might look like a rock, right?
Yeah, it looks like a row.
Okay, so somebody come and reach that dell, write the dell, and put 2 lines below it. Now, you guys have been in this class a year and a half. Somebody needs to be able to write some Arabic around her. The dell, just the dell. And you're going to, in the
It's in there.
wahid, then the dell is connected to the ha.
Yeah.
So you want to erase
Just
it,
give it a little bit more.
definition?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. What about the top? Because you can't have 2 markings. I'm going to confuse you. The dal should have 2 lines at the bottom. Wahidin. But I started
You
to.
got that.
But at the top, I wrote Dumbatan in the beginning.
What the,
At the top of the dal, is there a marking?
yeah, right.
Doing.
Doing. Right.
Yeah, take that away. That's wrong grammatically.
Right.
It has to stay the same case as Rajul. If Rajul is Rajulin, then Wahid has to be Wahidin. If Rajul was Rajulun, then Wahid could be Wahidun. It has to be uniform.
Got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Tayyib, barakallahu fikum. Tayyib. So, سيكون يعني واحد وخمسين نساء لرجل واحد. It shall be 51 women to 1 man. So the minor signs of Yom Al-Qiyamah. Now, there's a lot of ways the scholars explain this hadith. And all the brothers and sisters think about is plural marriage. That's all we think, that's all we see. Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, so that's why you can have more than, oh, hey. What we're talking about now with women running the world. Do you see that in this minor sign?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And what also comes to mind if women are running the world, when Allah really made the world to be ran by men, that means men are what? Scarce.
Yeah, at least, no. Not leading.
Not leading.
Not running.
Not running.
It's not, they're not leaders.
They're not leaders. Okay. If they're leaders, they're what?
Weak.
Weak. If they're alive, they're either in jail, debilitated, or if they're not alive, they're what?
Dead.
Dead. Sahih. So that leaves the ratio to be more what than what?
Women than men.
This is one of the minor signs. This is what the Prophet was trying to get across. Because if you take the marriage issue, you can never marry all of them women. How are you going to do it?
can't.
Even with ability to marry 4, that's not everybody's ability.
No.
The ability to marry 4 doesn't solve this equation, make it less women than men. Even if you can marry 9 women like the Shia said, which is bottled still, you're still going to have an exuberant amount of women more than men. So the Prophet is speaking to this issue to show you the state of affairs, how roles will be switched, men will be weak, absolutely obsolete. Some of them will have vanished because of sicknesses and some of them because of warfare. And we said this also means that women will be innately stronger than men. One of the tests I just took the other day, a college test, one of the questions was about cancer. It blew my mind. I said, subhanAllah. And it said, and it was a graph. So the instructor, she was reading the book to me over the phone. 2-hour test, mashallah. So the question was about cancer. They had a graph. They started at 30 years old to 45. 45 was for the max in this category. 30 was the minimum, starting at 30. Not 29, not 18, starting at 30 to 45. Then the next bracket was 50 to 60, and then 60 was the max going forward. So they said, with regards to men and women, the rate of who has cancer the most from the ages of 30 to 45 was about the same from 30 to 45 years old, with the percentage of men and women having colon cancer. Then when they got to 50, they said that the men had probably 100,000 more times of colon cancer than women, and women have 50,000 with regards to percentage of colon cancer when you hit 50. So that means that men were double women at age 50. If you went back down to 30 to 45, they were about the same percentage of who had cancer, colon cancer. When you hit 50, the men had double, the women had 50. When you hit 60, it said the men had 200,000 more times likely, statistics show, to have colon cancer, and the women only had 100,000. When you look at that, who's the strongest innately?
The woman.
That is playing into this minus sign, while again, there's 51 ratio more women to men. They last longer.
They live more.
Yeah, they live longer. Okay, now, the Prophet said that when women were in the house. There were not factories. There was no women being in the military, chance to get shot and killed. No women on the police force. No women, working dangerous jobs and
Fire department.
Fire department. The water wasn't, contaminated. The food wasn't contaminated. Now you find more women having all types of cancer, from colon to ovary, breast, throat, you name it. But still, when you look around, who's the most and who's the less?
The women
are the most and who are the less?
Men are the less.
So this is the minor sign that Prophet was talking about. And with that being the case, the women have assumed more leadership position around the world than men. Now when we talk about even jobs, more women are getting jobs around the world. And there's a political twist to that, but they're leading in many things, and this is prophesied by the Prophet, and this is a minor sign. سيكون واحد وخمسين نساء لرجل واحد, to 51 ratio of women to one man. Allah musta'an. Any questions?
None.
So give me some feedback on these signs. We got how many? 5. What's the first one? Yani Bithat al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the prophet being sent as a prophet and messenger. Some say Bitha means his birth. Some say his being sent as a prophet. Both meanings are applicable because he could not be a prophet without being born, and he was only born to be what? A prophet. He was only birthed to be what? A prophet. Yeah, that was the decree of Allah.
Yeah.
Tayyib. Number 2, the death of the prophet. Mawtihi alayhi salatu wasalam, from the minor signs. Number 3, wa yani ashabihi, the death of his companions, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, wa radiyallahu ta'ala anhum, sign of the minor signs before Yawm al-Qiyamah. Number 4, Sept al-Qamar, the splitting of the moon. Sept al-Qamar, the splitting of the moon. And number 5, ماذا بارك الله فيكم سيقولوا وعليكم سين يعني نساء لرجل واحد, to one man there will be 51 ratio. And what let me add before we stop at that point, it doesn't mean 51 only. We said before, when the Arabs mention a number, they mean that at least 51.
Minimum.
Yeah, minimum. When they mention the number, they don't mean hasil. That is restricted. It means at least.
The minimum. Yeah.
Yeah, so at least 51 women ratio to one man. Allah musta'an. Allah musta'an. Allah musta'an. Okay, so give me some feedback on these yani signs. Who wants to get up and be the teacher? I'm going to sit down and you give us a quick yani 5-minute dose from what you know on these signs. This is the only way y'all gonna graduate from this class. You gotta demonstrate. I'm gonna flunk all of you guys with a big red F. With a mega sign on top of the F.
Mega sign.
Allah musta'an. Come on, who wants to be teacher? Don't make me point you out and call you out. Then you got them on camera, obey the sheikh. Ati Allah or Ati Rasul, I don't want to put it. I said, take the mic and get to the board, homie. Yeah? You're shy about. People going to see you make a mistake or see you not make a mistake. I bet you know more than them. Wow, these guys are chicken. Wow. We got a live chicken. Baby chickens.
So these 5 signs, binary signs, are very interesting. Number 1, 4 of the 5 signs were completed during the time of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam's lifetime. So I find that very significant, very important in terms of seeing the minor signs. The birth of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his death there. Some of the most significant signs about this in this ummah. A lot of the Sahaba and them passing was profound trauma to the Muslims when they passed away, and when the Prophet passed away. Many of the Sahaba, many of the scholars say that was one of the most traumatic events of Islam, because that meant the revelation was over. And then, of course, the Sahaba being the ones that carried the message and preserved the message and understood it, the best of anybody in this ummah, they're certainly there leaving us was another momentous event in the ummah. So those first 3 signs, very, very important. Those 3 signs are very important and had a great impact on our understanding, our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our knowing, what we should do and what we shouldn't do. fourth sign,
Shekel Qamar,
Shekel Qamar.
splitting of the moon.
That was a tremendous sign, but it also was another reason why I guess we have the Quran. You know, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam wasn't known so much for those types of signs as he's known for the Quran itself. And when that sign came, even though the kuffar asked for a miracle, then they started calling him a musician. So it showed that he could do that, but really it also is an emphasis on the importance of the Quran and the book and the guidance in the Sunnah. And then the fifth sign, early sign, minor sign, we are, approaching that, we're watching that, we're seeing it come to fruition in this time. Certainly the event of, the Harris campaign is an example of, seeing the proliferation of women and their importance in the world, and, the weakness of the men in this age and this time. So we see in the beginning of that, and we're based on the hadith of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's only going to get more. Yes.
This shows this type of show is not blameworthy, but this type of demonstration shows what type of quality that's being put out, both at Marcus Safinatullah and Meshibut Kabir, that a student can get up here and take the lesson and demonstrate just like that person is an instructor. And this is one of the ways that the Prophet would do that with the companions. It's one of the ways that when we study informally in the masajid back in the days of Yemen and Egypt, that the sheikh would have you do that. One of the, subhanAllah, Allah Musta'an, one of the things that, was very common, the sheikh, whoever was your sheikh, he would question you in front of the people, have you stand up, kum, like this. So that stage fright and this and that, you got over that because the sheikh would call on you and put you on the spot. But it was to show you, or you benefiting, to show others, if you feel that you can't do it, or you have some type of fear or lack of ambition, you can do it if he can do it. And from that, you found rows of people standing up when the sheikh said, Qum, reciting the hadith with the chain. Can you imagine the masjid being full like this? Everybody stand up and quoting the hadith at his own speed, his or her own tone, and you sit down and the other guy's still standing up struggling. The other one sit down, he's still standing up struggling, until you have 50, 60, 70, hundreds of people, thousands of people reciting the hadith. Yeah, subhanallah rabbil azim. And also, this was how the sheikh knows you go teach, because you demonstrated from the text, not from your own. You demonstrated, you repeated what the sheikh gave you that was sahih. We sometimes think we have to say something different, come from what we think. No, if something is laid out to you, learning knowledge means you repeat that same thing that's sahih back to the people. That's how the knowledge is passed on. But if you start mentioning something that's not from what you were given in a lesson, then you better have your proof. You better have your proof, you see. And this shows also, the blessing of studying in the masjid. People, they blame the informal studying and they praise formal because of certificates and diplomas and degrees, which is good. But the main barakat is the barakat of the knowledge in the masjid. It will never leave so as long as the masajid stand, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His messenger, sanctioned that type of knowledge and praised it and His people. Next, who wants a piece of that pie? That pie was juicy. May Allah bless the sheikh. Next, and the smart person will say just what he said and add something only if you have knowledge.
Assalamu alaikum.
What's that?
Bismillah, wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah. We can derive from this hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and from the Sunnah, because we wasn't here, that and who and Nabi, that the Prophet did come from the Sunnah, that he was alive and he did die, and also from the companions who preserved the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so that we can have this knowledge today of the Sunnah. They came, they spread the deen, and they passed on this knowledge to us, and they also died. And
After that, Sept al-Qamar,
after Sept al-Qamar, the
splitting of the moon.
as historically recorded, that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when the kuffar challenged him to prove his authenticity or the authenticity of being a prophet, he showed them the splitting of the moon, and they denied it, even though he showed them this, and also
So you can
the
cut
fact
why he will come set.
the Nisa, comes in Nisa, with the women today, which we see, the women today, they do outnumber the men, and he also said that they would be wearing clothes, have clothes on, but they would look nude, and you can see that also. And the men, number 5, the men being the least number, as we can see, the men are dying off, and that the majority of the women are becoming in positions of power. They're doing jobs that normally was just designed for men. And alhamdulillah, this is the proof that the Prophet was a prophet.
MashaAllah, people, MashaAllah. I like that, people. When you talk about some of the points that were brought out from both Shanwal and Sheikh Ibrahim. You see Sheikh because they have some age, but they have some knowledge too in their own right, experience. When we talk about some of the points that they made, one of them with regards to Sheikh Anwar, when he mentioned the issue of the splitting of the moon, and Ibrahim, was that although those people denied it during his time, they said, oh, this is witchcraft, he really didn't do it, today's people scientifically affirm it. Today's scientific people, they affirm it. So they have more belief that took place than those people during the time of the Prophet. Alayhi salatu wassalam. And that makes people say that science confirms the Quran. But it's the other way around. Quran confirms science. Not science confirms Quran. Science can agree with the Quran, but it doesn't confirm what the Quran said was right. The Quran, Allah's speech, confirms what science finds, because science sometimes, in its practice and theory, is right and wrong, because it's what man has come up and showed in his findings. So sometimes scientific findings are right, sometimes scientific findings and findings are wrong. Sometimes the theory is mixed with man theory and real theory or evolution. So never think that the science, it makes what the Quran said is right. No, the Quran, which is Allah's speech, which is Allah speaking, it determines what's right from science, not science determines what's right and true from Quran. So that's a very important point I wanted to mention that's very proliferal in this day, that people push science confirms the Quran. No, it's the other way around. With regards to the women, and Ibrahim added this, that they will not only be, as the Prophet said, the majority. They will not only be in positions of power, they will not only be dressed but nude, but they will also be a big fitna for the men, a big trial. And it's not to say that something is bad about the women, but what they come with, from their charms and possessions and things that they have that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made with them, and the love that men have for them. That's what Salam said, مَا تَرَكْتُ أَضَرٌ عَلَى أُمَّتِي مِنَ الْفِتْنَةِ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ, كما called, that from amongst the trials that are so tremendous upon the men of this ummah, I have not left you. I'm not going to die and something stay behind as a trial so severe upon you more than the women. But Prophet also said, وَلِكُلِّ فِتْنَةِ وَلِكُلِّ أُمَّةِ فِتْنَةِ وَفِتْنَةُ أُمَّةِ الْمَالِ وَفِتْنَةُ أُمَّتِي الْمَالِ. Every trial has his nation that broke them, and the trial for my nation is going to break them is dunya, wealth. So you have these two things that's destroying us, the fitna of women and the fitna of wealth with regards to the men. This also adds to the equation, and these are from the signs of the minor signs of the Day of Judgment. We have more, but I wanted to just bring some in order to get you to bring out what you're learning from the pillars of Iman, particularly Yom Qiyamah, particularly and the issues of what Allah says, His Messenger, names and attributes, and these things, because you have to make sure that while you're on your journey of learning, that you consume, and not you just sitting and it sounds good or you don't know what's happening. You have to be able to demonstrate in order to show the knowledge, and that's why Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala in conclusion He mentioned Fas'alu Ahla Dhikr, ask the people of the dhikr, of the revelation, and kuntum la ta'lamun, if you don't know. And then Allah said, bil bayyinati wa zubur, bil bayyinati wa zubur. They have to bring the bayyinat, that which is the clarity, meaning the evidence. With zubur, they have to demonstrate, and that's what you did today. You demonstrated that knowledge, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from the people of Iman and sincerity and truthfulness. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from Ahlul Sunnati wal Jama'ah, the people of the Sunnah of the Prophet Sallam and the way of the Sahaba. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase us in Iman, to increase us in righteous deeds. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us on Sunnah al-Qawm al-Dhalimeen, to help against the wrong people. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one sure Islam wa Sunnah, wajh al-ard, all over the earth. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, la yamutuna illa ala al-Islam al-Sahih wa Sunnatul Mutahhara, and that Allah don't take us except we're on pure, proper Islam and the pure Sunnah of His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا هو أستغفرك وأتوب إليه. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. You might have been right with the bathroom.